Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh. Thanks for joining me today. Well, we're talking about Bonnie Holing again. She released another video. She just can't help herself. She's like, I'm done talking about it. I'm going to move on with regular scheduled content. And we're going to actually show you some what her regular scheduled content looks like and some patterns of abuse. Some people have sent me some videos and she kept them on her channel, obviously with the comments off, but we're going to look at that. So we're going to look at her video where she's woe is me, sad, cleaning her new mansion that overlooks a lake. I can't make it up. And then we're gonna look at this video where she does blanket training. And I looked into a little bit more about blanket training. And I actually remember somebody who did this copying her, likely, Mike Christopher. Blanket training, I think, came from Duggars, or is a practice that the Duggars made popular. And it's crazy, it's actually quite abusive. And that's actually just gonna show you what I think is correct, in that Bonnie and her sisters were raised by abuse and then perpetuate the abuse. So let's take a look at it. If you're just joining the 8 passenger thing, it's crazy. Ruby's going to end up in prison for a very long time for what she did. Jody Hildebrandt also will. But the sisters are sitting here making their videos, and they're like, and they're like sad about themselves. They're sad about their content. They're sad about their futures and everything else. And they're angry at Ruby for ruining that for them. But they do mention for 2 seconds, they're also sad about the kids. And we all can see right through that bullshit. And I don't care what they say, we can see through it. Actions speak louder than words. Your words are shit too, so that doesn't help. But Bonnie can't help herself, right? She's getting a lot of flack, and probably rightfully so, because again, I don't think that they are responsible for what happened, but they hold some responsibility for not helping these kids. And I'll say that till the day is long, because I have experience helping family that way. And I just don't think they did enough, because they didn't do enough. And there's way more that could have been done. That's it. And that's why she continues to do videos, because she actually does feel guilty about what happened. If you asked their honest opinion and they weren't going to get ratioed for that opinion, they would tell you too, that they feel really bad about what happened, and they probably hold some responsibility themselves. They would say that if they were honest, and they aren't honest, but they live with it, because she makes videos like this crying while she's vacuuming, cleaning her mansion. It's silly. And it's ridiculous. So we're going to look at this video quickly, and then we're going to look at the other one where she's blanket training, and to talk to you a little bit about what blanket training is. And the reason why this shit hits me and I can see right through it is because I was an abused child who lived in a very strict house, but it was just an excuse to be abusive. Okay? And I am as a parent myself, I'm a big proponent of not ever hurting your children. And I say hurting because it's what you do when you physically assault them. Some people are for spanking. I am not for spanking. I will never physically hurt my children as a form of punishment. I think you are sick and psychopathic if you do that. Okay? Do you honestly think that violence is going to help somebody and help them shape up? Has it ever in the history of humanity ever done that? Okay, if not, it creates people who are scared. It creates fear. And if you want to raise your kids to be scared of you, good luck for their futures. Okay? And I'm telling you, that's what these ladies do. They were raised that way. You can tell. So let's take a look at this woe is me video again. Hear this while she's looking at her magnificent view of the mountains and the lake. Okay? You can't make it up, people. You can't.
Filmed a lot of videos, and I've been able to articulate my feelings through my videos in every situation.
Okay, I'm gonna cry behind the camera because my crocodile tears. Shut up.
I've come across for the last
across. The word is across. There is no T in there. Across.
Decade of my life, and it feels impossible to try and articulate my feelings right now, to articulate my grief. I've seen my fair share of hate on the internet towards myself.
Deservedly so. Because you are deserving of it. You're an idiot. You exploit children.
Towards peers. And I know that watching people on the internet, you can become very invested. I've watched some people, and when they went through scandals, and I don't know if you can call this a scandal,
Yeah, you can call it a scandal if you want.
don't know what this is, but
Yeah, it's a scandal. A mother who is this lovely person on the internet and wants, well, she really isn't, but exposing what you guys really are. Yeah, that's really, I say you could call it a scandal because you guys are all messed up because of it. You know what? As much as we hate Ruby for doing all this, and we deservedly so, also she's uncovering a lot of what this reality is for these children on these channels. And like when the shit with Micah happened, it's the most horrific thing that ever happened to the little boy, but it mobilized people to start waking up to this stuff. And unfortunately, this is what it takes. And I said on this channel a million times, what's it going to take to get this to stop? And it's going to take craziness, and it's already happening.
It broke my heart, and I remember crying for them. I was hurting for them for a few weeks.
Oh, just for a few weeks? That's nice. See, this is where she has to cover up the part where she's like, I was hurting for them. Mm-hmm. Well, your video didn't say that.
And I've had many people go through tough times online.
Her husband's like building this whole house with bare hands, and she's like, thanks for cleaning the tract on the door, honey, that don't need to be cleaned right now. There's so much more to do than that. We haven't even done flooring or anything, but thanks helper.
And I've always watched to see how they go through it. Never did I think I would be in a situation like this, because I'm very conscious of my choices, and
she is, and you're going to see conscious of her choices soon.
This just goes to show you that life will get you whether you make good choices or not. And it's really difficult when others hurt you, when others hurt the people you love, and you have no control over it. I think the first thing that I want to even try to say without
cry more.
Oh, just being such a mess. I want to say thank you to those of you who made comments on my last video.
Hear the reality of this. There's actually a crazy reality going on behind the scenes here of children who have been abused and like tortured. Okay? And now we're getting even more as the things are released, NAF dates are released, and all these things are being released, that they put like cayenne pepper and honey on the wounds, which is like, again, more abuse. Okay, these kids were trapped, they were tied up, they were starved, they were abused. And she's like sitting here amidst all this, because that's what this is really in view of, and saying things like, thanks to those who left comments on my videos. Just stop making these damn videos. You're such an idiot. In view of what has happened, what the hell are you doing? Are you out of your mind?
I did not keep any judgmental comments because that's my space, and you have an entire internet that you can go and make mean comments to, but not on mine.
Again, think about what she's saying right now. Also, what you clean the window with doesn't look like cleaning with it. Think about what she's saying. The absolute atrocity that happened to these children, and she's sitting here in her little world. It's my space. Don't leave me angry comments, okay? Me, I am sad. Oh my God!
Over 5,000 kind comments, and I read every single one of them.
Which means she read every single one of the hate comments too, so good.
So I just want to say thank you if you were one of those people. My life and my family seems to just be entertainment. This is a new media story. So
are you really saying that right now? My life just seems to be entertainment? You did that, asshole! You say that your life is entertainment. You literally create family vlogs for entertainment. What are you saying right now? Now you don't want it to be? You don't get to pick and choose when the shit hits the fan, lady. You chose this path. If you weren't on the internet, if you weren't a child exploiter, if you didn't make your living making these videos, then no one would be talking about you. Are you crazy? How obtuse are these people? It never gets old how dumb they are.
Everyone is just running with our tragedy, most of the time out of context and just tearing us down. But your comments...
It's not out of context.
...were like a little bit of light in the midst of a dark room. No matter how dark the room is, can always see just that little bit of light.
Wow. Again, always prop this up against what the reality of what's going on right now is. It's all about her and how many nice comments she received amidst these children being abused. Thanks for the nice comments, everybody. It makes me feel real good. Well, we're glad we can make you feel good, Bonnie, because that's what this is all about. You absolute donut.
I would say the most common comment that I got was, why was I making the video about me?
Yep.
Well,
yep.
If you listen to the video, I said exactly that I was only going to speak from my perspective and how it was affecting me. And
exactly. And you shouldn't have, you dumbass. That's why people were asking, why did you make this video? Not just make this video about you, but why did you make it at all, you idiot, you dumbass?
Because I cannot and will not speak about the real victims, but if you're human, you know who the real victims are, and
you suck at cleaning.
That is truly where my heartache stems from.
Oh, it's it. Yeah. Shut up. This is the second video made about yourself and how this affects you. Let's remind you guys. Cayenne pepper, honey, tied up, starved. That's the reality of what's going on the other side of this. And it's just crazy that she's sitting here doing this. And people are like, and people on the Reddit thread, by the way, are just like, yeah, the sisters are awesome. Oh my God, people, wake up, assholes, wake up. They're just as bad with everything that they do. They all bank on the internet to make money off their children. They all do it. Okay? And if you don't think she's abusive, wait.
And who my heart aches for. There really are so many levels of pain in this. This affects every single aspect.
Clean the bottom when you're done.
Every single one of our lives in my family. I've really had the urge to come on here and defend myself with things that are being said all over the place because so much of it just isn't true. And I just feel like me coming on here fighting or defending myself, it will not do any benefit to me or my situation.
So let's do it. Okay, everybody, we're good. It's not going to work, but let's go.
And
because it's content. She made 511,000 views on that last video. Guys, look at this shit. This is crazy. Look at this. You want to see something? You want to see why she's doing these videos? 511,000 views. 17,000 downvotes for 27,000 upvotes. This is probably the biggest ratio on her channel, on her whole channel. Don't listen to her. She's just as messed up as a sister and hasn't got caught. Do your research, people. She's a liar, period. Whole family's messed up. Do your research. Girl, you should retire from YouTube. Not for your sister's crimes, but for the crime of the piss poor audio in this video. This is incredibly tone deaf. JC, all of you are heartless and selfish. Yeah, so anyway, she made 511,000 views in this video. And her video before that, like she's getting a little bump here, 70,000, 50,000 on here, 35,000, 61,000, 32,000, 25. So you'll see a big bump of the most recent because people want to check her out, right? 'Cause she's part of this whole scandal. But like she's averaging 31, 26,000, 42. All of a sudden she talks about this situation, 511,000 views. That's why she's doing this, everybody. Don't feel sorry for Bonnie. She's getting the big payday.
Never had the phrase ring so true to me that bees don't waste their time trying to explain to flies why flowers and honey is so much better than crap. Something that I think is really interesting.
What the hell is that supposed to
be? Is you can paint anyone to be a monster, and you can take that.
No, you can't just paint anyone to be a monster. You're a monster.
Same person, and you can paint them into the most fabulous person you've ever known. And I really think it all depends on who the person is.
Look at this man. Again, what is she's using a wide lens, and that's why her butt looks like she's got a BBL.
That's doing the talking. You really do find
Why is your brush not soapy?
Exactly what you're looking for.
Look at this property. The juxtaposition makes me laugh because it's so tone deaf, it's insanity. Okay, on one hand, we have these kids who are absolutely massively abused, and we're learning even more and more and more about that now, right? And then on the other hand, she's like making it about herself while cleaning her brand new mansion that came from partial PPP loans she took from the government. Like, and the money that she's made off exploiting her children. You cannot make this up, guys. In parallel, this is the crazy thing I've ever seen. Oh, Bonnie. Never will you learn.
In people, in situations, during trials, and no matter the situation, you really are going to find exactly what you're looking for. I know exactly who I am, and to be honest, that feels really good to be able to say that
I know exactly who I am.
I can lay my head down at night and feel really good about the choices that I've had to make. I really am going to hold
Yeah? You can feel really good about the choices you made about exploiting your children? That's nice. Good for you.
my head up high.
I mean, you got to talk to Julie Duru, the video we did the other day, right? She says she's going on without continuing to exploit her children. That's what it sounds like she's doing. Bonnie doesn't give a shit.
Even while my heart is breaking, and even though I am completely crushed and completely sad, this is a
So funny. Even though I'm sad, I can sleep at night knowing that I know me. Wow. Glad you said that during this whole process of these children getting justice against abusive parents. I'm glad you know who you are, Bonnie. Good to know. Wow.
pain
Can't believe she made it worse.
that I have never felt before.
I gotta get the sniffle in the audio. F off.
I am going to hold my head up high, even while my heart
It's unsafe to do that off of a stool. OSHA.
is breaking, even though I am completely crushed and completely saddened by the entire situation and for my entire family unit.
And my new mansion.
And when I tell you that
You're gonna build this brand new mansion, you're gonna do white brick pillars? Okay. You sure?
I know this
Checking.
affects not just my immediate family, because it does, but I have had
Oh, shut up.
neighbors that grew up with all of us, people that have watched us all grow up online, and it affects all of us. For as many prayers as you are
But it affects more of the kids who are tortured. It affects them the most. I'm sorry for our neighbors. What the hell are you saying?
offering up on behalf of us, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that my prayers are also with you. And right now, they are prayers of gratitude for those that are
Prayers of gratitude. Wow. What?
expressing love.
Prayers of gratitude for those expressing love who are letting me get away with this and not holding me accountable. Thanks to those people who love me and don't worry about anything else. Thank you.
Towards our family.
Holy shit, that was a bad video. What is wrong with this person? How are you so... You're so, again... I can't deal with these people sometimes. Okay. Again, compare that with this. I brought this video. Someone sent this to me. I got a bunch of people that sent me this video talking about, you really got to talk about this blanket training thing, right? I've heard about it once in a while. I know Micah tried it in her videos way back in the day. I think the Duggars do it and everything else. But you got to talk about blanket training and see what it is. So listen to this.
Hi guys, welcome
Hey, I got dressed up in this weird pajama shirt and makeup.
to my channel. Today I'm doing a video that's a little bit different than I usually do. Last week I posted a picture of my kids on blanket time, and wow,
I got ratioed for the abusive behavior. Wow, I got ratioed because people were like, why do you do that? It's actually abusive to do that. That's why. So she's going to capitalize on it, right? So this would happen this back, I don't know, it was like 6, 7, 8 years ago. I don't know. Like, this is how long she's been on the internet, since her kids were toddlers. She's been exploiting her children since they were babies. That's what you need to see here, okay? And so she posts a picture and she's like, oh, I got some comments, some really negative feedback about blanket training. Let's do an entire video about it. Let's capitalize on it. By the way, the comments are turned off on this video.
really big response to that picture. A lot of people wanted to know what blanket time was, why I did it, how I did it, and I thought it was something very worth mentioning because this alone has kept my sanity, and that is no lie.
Yes,
I read the
Lord.
book Baby Wise and I follow them, and in the book it recommends blanket time. Now when I first
Blanket training.
I lay a blanket down where I want them. When I give them toys, I choose toys specific for that kid that I know that they're not going to be bored. It's really good for their attention spans because you only give them, you know, just a handful of toys, not a lot. When you first begin, you're gonna feel frustrated. You're going to feel like it's a waste of your time, but if you stay consistent with it, then it will get better, and it really will. You'll see a difference in the way your kids behave.
Okay. First of all, blanket training is for lazy parents. I don't give a shit who you are. If you're a stay-at-home parent and you want your kid to stay on a 2x2 square for hours at a time, F off. Okay? Seriously, F off.
You're first teaching them, you can't do anything else. All you're doing is teaching them. And I'll just sit right here by the blanket and I'll watch them play. I won't play with them. I won't show them.
I won't be around them and spend quality time with them. They're on their own, on their blanket island.
What to play with, I just watch them. Even if they sit there and scream, that's literally what they do most of the time, is just sit there and scream. They will get the hang of it. There are many different reasons that you could benefit from blanket time, but I'll tell you the reasons why I started doing it. Olivia was almost 2, so I started it when she was a little bit older, but I could not get her to sit for the life of me. We would go to the doctor's office and she would be all over the place.
Oh no, a regular child? Oh, the horrors of a regular child being a regular child. Damn, I'm not having any of that. Hear that for a second. That's really, really telling about these types of people who want their kids to be seen and not heard. Or heard and not seen. I don't know what it is. They want their kids to be perfectly well-behaved adult humans. To be like, sit there with their arms crossed and just back up and like, just looking very like, nah, okay? This isn't like Queen of England 1925, okay? Kids are kids, let them run around and have some fun. That's why they have the toys at doctor's offices and books and things like that. But that's what you really need to hear here. Read between the lines. How dare my kids be normal kids and I have to train that out of them?
I would ask her to sit on a chair and she just wouldn't do it. It was as if I wasn't even there asking her to do it. When we were at church, she would not sit on the bench and I would pack
oh my gosh,
a whole bag of toys and she'd go through that entire bag and be done with it in 20 minutes.
Do they have kids programs at your churches?
10 minutes.
Oh no, the kid is being a kid again.
It was terrible and I just thought
terrible. Her child being a child, in her words, it was terrible. What else do you need to see? I'm showing you guys what you need to see and I hope you're seeing it.
Got to get a grip on this. Are all little kids this way?
Yes! Yes, they are all this way. Normal ones are. So she wants to, again, you cannot miss this, everybody. She wants to train the child out of the child. She wants the child to sit in a square and never move or say a word. That is abusive.
And the answer to that is yes, but the trick is teaching them how you want them to behave. Kids will learn anything if you just teach them, and if you stay consistent with it. That's the biggest thing with this. In the beginning, with blanket time, you are going to feel like it's a disaster. And it is.
You said this already.
It's really hard, and I have a headache every time I start, but if you stick with it, you will be able to tell your child to sit on a blanket, play with a few toys, and I leave.
You said this already. She's going to keep repeating the same shit over and over. Is she going to talk about how the blanket training is, if they get up off the blanket, you spank them, or it's corporal punishment. You have to hurt them. There's punishment if you get off the blanket. I hope she talks about that.
My kids there for up to an hour. And the reason that I chose
an hour
is because that's how long sacrament is. That's how long a lot of meetings that we go to.
Mormons do sacrament?
And
she means church, right? That's what she means.
So
that's how long my YouTube meetings are. It's more important to get YouTube done. Go sit on that blanket while mommy does YouTube videos.
Well, you start with about 10 to 15 minutes, and you work your way up. And it depends on
how much you want to bet these kids have been sitting in these blankets for like 3 or 4 hours sometimes.
Their age as well. I do not like to set a timer because something that this teaches.
How dare you make noise? I'm making videos.
Because something that this teaches is that blanket time starts when mom says and blanket time ends when mom says.
Getting a lot of Ruby there, eh? This is when this is, and this is what it is. These kids are leaving when they're 18. They can get their own lunch. They can do everything. Stop eating food, cake, and milk. F off. This is what I'm telling you guys. I don't care what anybody says. That everybody thinks Bonnie's a sweetheart. No. Listen to the language and the assertiveness and everything else. Nah. This is a woman who is like, don't F around with this woman if you're a child of hers. Okay? And I think that her kids are starting to wake up to the actual things. Maybe they're starting to see in the news that the regular things that Ruby was doing with her children was abuse. And the kids are like, well, that's abuse? Holy shit, well, that went down in our house. For sure it did.
If they're being really, really good, I'm not going to take them off the blanket. They can stay and do what they're doing.
Right? Right, forever, while I'm watching Netflix.
Even if it's past the time that the timer says.
There it is.
Or if blanket time needs to end a little bit early because they are just not having it that day, because sometimes that's going to be the case. Then you can say, okay, mommy says blanket time is over, and you can let your little one run off the blanket, because what you really don't want to do is for the child to say, I'm done doing this, and get off the blanket. That doesn't teach him to be obedient. That does.
Obedience. That's what it's all about. And this is what they were taught when they were young. Obedience is everything. Ruby said the same thing and expected the same thing from her children. 100% obedience. And when you didn't give them the obedience, you were abused in certain ways. One of those ways was sending Chad off to a camp in the wilderness, sleeping on rocks. The other one was not letting him have a bathroom door and making him sleep on the floor for 7 months after pranking his brother. 100% obedience is all that matters. It's not about parenting, not about loving your children, not about being there for them. It's about obedience, because that is what they were taught. And I'm telling you, that is not how you raise children. And it didn't work when we were kids either. And it didn't work for our parents. Raising your kids to 100% obedience is bullshit. That's not how you raise people. And it's abusive.
Teach him to listen to what you're saying. So you really got to be strict with it. Another place that this really helps is when I'm trying to cook dinner and I just need them out of my hair, but I don't want them running around the house making a huge mess. I need them right.
Nah, run around and make a huge mess. Be children. It's fun to be children. Go be children. Listen to this. This is the house that she must have obedience. She must have stringent. Your kids can't make messes. Like, I get it. Some people want to be neat, and her house is nice and tidy, and I get that. And some people, that's important, right? But I think it's more important that your kids get to be kids. And listen to what we're hearing here. This is a blanket training, and this is abusive. And she has yet touched on how she keeps the kids there and when they will run off the blanket. I hope she touches on it.
There, and plus I like them seeing what mom's doing. When I'm cleaning and I'm going room to room, I don't put a blanket out, but I'll set them on the couch. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to clean the family room. You know, put music on, play, have fun, but you're staying on that couch while I clean the family room. I really do feel like this teaches strict...
Why don't you clean when they have a nap?
Obedience. It helps with their
strict obedience.
Attention span. Oh, no.
Oh, you left the blanket.
You gotta stay on the blanket. Look, you gotta stay on your blanket. So, just like that, they are going to crawl off the blanket. They're going to run off the blanket. And at first, all I do, I don't say much because I don't want to really communicate with them when they're on blanket time.
God, crazy. We're not abusive. I don't want to talk to them when they're on blanket time. It's strict. Don't talk to your kids at blanket time.
And the reason is because sometimes I just need to read. Sometimes I'm making phone calls. Sometimes I'm doing bills. And so...
These women are so selfish. It's so crazy that they have children. Because it's me. Tell me, do we do another video, Bonnie? It's like it's Bonnie's universe. Everybody's just living in it. Oh my gosh. Bonnie's a selfish disgustoid.
Oh, I do not want to entertain them. And that's another thing that this does is teaches them to self-entertain. And so when they crawl...
Unless they turn teenagers and try to self-entertain, then they go to wilderness camps. Because I didn't mean it that way. Don't self-entertain that way.
The blanket, I just pick them up, put them back on the blanket. I usually start around 18 months. They usually get it pretty well by then. Olivia doesn't necessarily stay on a blanket for quiet time or blanket time anymore because she is older and she doesn't really need to do that. When I started teaching Boston how to stay on a blanket, I put Olivia on one. That way he saw what she was doing, he saw what Cody was doing, and he kind of got the idea. But a lot of time I'll just just put her up at the table, have her do her homework, have her color, and just she knows to stay there until I tell her that it's time to get up. Sometimes if I
Shit, man. Holy crap.
feel like the child needs it, or if I really need them to stay on the blanket just a little bit longer, I will give them treats. I don't want Boston
See, they want to be in there for 3 hours. I'll give you a granola bar.
to hear me.
He heard you.
He's like, what'd you say?
They hate you. Imagine raising your kids. Imagine raising your kids in such a way where, like, no, I'm not gonna entertain you. You stay there, no interaction, blah, blah, blah. And you think your kids will like you when they get older? You think they're gonna stick around? You idiot.
Them snacks, so that will keep their attention. But I try to teach them to play without snacks.
Of course. Of course. No snacks. No fun. No interaction. No love. F off, kids.
Taken the kids to doctor appointments with me, and I will tell them, okay, we're gonna have blanket time, but I put them in the chairs at the doctor's office, and every time, I don't think I've gone to the doctors without a nurse or the doctor saying, wow, I can't believe your kids just sit there.
Yeah. Wow, I can't believe you don't let your kids be kids. Biatch.
First of all, I threaten them before the doctor gets in there. You will sit here, you will be quiet, and you will not get off of these chairs.
Because what's the threat though? What are these kids being threatened with? She's obviously obtuse. She's obviously being very obtuse about what she does. The threat is to, but the threat is to violence. The threat is to spanking. It's to being hit. It's to that. It's not being held, or maybe it's withholding food, which is also abusive. No matter what it is, she's threatening her children. She's admitting to you right now that she threatens her children. Doesn't tell you what the punishment is, but that's it. That's abusive. Boom. That's all you need to know. If you want to know what she does, if she's abusive like Ruby is, there's your proof. Everything you need to know right now. Boom. Do you need to see more?
And if they do, I wait till we get home, and then when we get home, I really let them know that was not okay to get off your chair.
How though? How do you let them know?
And we're going to practice, and we're going to learn to sit still when we go to the doctor's office.
Wow. You'd make a great Nazi. Just saying. Could you imagine going to the doctor, which no kid likes doing, and you're acting a normal child. Then you get home. Okay, now we're going to sit and practice for hours. So next time you go to the doctor in 6 months, you will sit there and you will not be a child. Like, this is triggering me. I'm sorry. I'm pissed off. And obviously I'm pissed off at her anyway. But these people can't get worse. It's actually crazy that they put this shit on the internet. Film their abuse and show it to the world and are proud of it. They are proud of their abuse.
Or when we go to wherever, but I don't make a scene
don't go anywhere
where we're at, but I do let them know I am not happy with you, and we are going to talk about this when we get home.
Just talk.
Because you're in public, you don't want to embarrass your child. Plus, the child's probably not even paying attention because they're looking and doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Imagine that, looking around and shit. Kids, bastards.
Is he staying on?
Oh my God, this woman.
I just had to make sure. This has also been a really good thing for when I just had one child, because now that I have a couple of kids, when I'm in the shower, I can put them in a bedroom and have them play together, or put them in front of the TV. And Olivia's old enough that if there's something wrong, she can come and get me. But when it was just Olivia, I couldn't shower. She was into everything.
Oh no, kids!
And I couldn't let her run through the house, so she'd be in the bathroom.
Why not?
While I was trying to get ready, and it was
because again, hear that, like, she's so well put together in this video because it's all about Bonnie. Bonnie has to be like, I have to put together. Look at my eyebrows. Who the heck has this many kids and has time to look like this? Bonnie does these things because Bonnie needs the time. Bonnie needs to be in control. Bonnie has to be about Bonnie. Everything's about Bonnie. Everything is about her and everything. Bonnie is a selfish idiot. And it's everything you need to know about this type of blanket. Like, blanket training is crazy to me. Why would you do this?
It was absolute chaos. So
It's chaos, is it?
Is I would put the towel mat on the floor in the bathroom because it was just big enough. Give her like one thing because I'm only going to be in there for 15, 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Maybe 30.
30 minutes in the shower.
And
you must stink.
And I would
30 minutes.
Tell her to stay there. This was after I taught her. And it made my shower time so much better.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Oh my God. God, this woman! I need to go through all her old videos.
So much better and more like I felt like I could do stuff. It wasn't, my mind wasn't complete chaos 24/7 during the day. Something.
Why do you say stupid shit like 24-hour chaos? So, because you have a shower at night then when your kids are in bed, dickhole.
That you're also going to want to keep in mind, if your child is hungry.
Look how she's zoomed in because the other kid left the blanket in the back.
If your child needs a nap, they're not going to do good at blanket time. You have to kind of plan it in your day. It's right before lunchtime, they're probably not going to do well. So make sure that they're fed, make sure that their diapers are changed or they've gone to the bathroom. That way they don't use the excuse, I need to go to the bathroom, I need to get off the blanket. So make sure that they're ready for it.
Oh my God.
And they will do much better. You will be more successful if you make sure that it's good timing for them as well. Normally I don't have their blankets so close, but
And when you film it for y'all?
wanted them in the frame. But usually I try to keep them separate. That way they don't fight with each other. They don't want each other's toys. They're not trying to play with each other. It just keeps them separate. And
Oh my God, hear what she just said there. That way they're not trying to play together? These brothers? Oh my God!
just is better, at least for me, that way. So that is what blanket time is. That's
F off, you dirty douche. That's what blanket time is. So there you go, everybody. Bonnie, in a nutshell. And that's why she does videos where she's cleaning her mansion and crying. Because it's all about Bonnie and Bonnie's comfort and Bonnie's world. It's Bonnie's universe. We're all just in it, kind of hanging out. And that's why she's so selfish. When you talk about abuse, blanket training is abusive because there's consequences for leaving the blanket, and the consequences generally are spanking or something like that, not just a stern talking to. They have to remember, like if you look up blanket training, the training can be, so blanket training is a child training method advocated by Gary Ann Mariezzo and popularized by the Duggar family through the TLC show. It has its own featured page on Duggar Family Vlog. Parents have adopted child training. Its simplest form blanket training consists of 3 actions. Place your young child, usually an infant or toddler, in a small blanket. If that child moves off the blanket, strike that child. If they move off the blanket, rinse, repeat. Strike the child. It's always Christians and like fundamentalist Christians and shit. Oh my gosh. F kids. That's basically what it is. And you know what, Bonnie? F you. F you for trying to capitalize off all this. You're a piece of crap. And I'm going to keep calling you out for it. I think that she's scared what's about to come out about abusive situations. I think her kids are waking up to the abuse that they might have suffered, and it's just going to get worse for her. And good. Because if you exploit children, you get what you deserve. Okay? Everybody take a deep breath, please. Damn, you moron. You're such an idiot. But if you find yourself cleaning your mansion, overlooking the mountains and the lake, and you're crying, I feel sorry for you. No, I don't. Get wrecked. You moron. You just tone-deaf moron. Do better for your kids. Protect your kids. Be here for your kids. Stop exploiting your children, everybody. And you don't. And you're amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. I think that you're incredible. And I will see you when I see you.